One of the fundamental human rights is the right to freedom of speaking. Free speech allows you to give your opinion, state your beliefs, and state your belief in situations and matters that concerns things around you. Free speech has been part of the human evolution, that because if you cannot speak freely, others cannot know of what you think or what you want to tell them, or what you have in mind when you enter this discourse of different kind of topics. Free speech is very, very important in this day and age, because everyone needs to be heard and everyone needs to tell their story. Ever since the dawn of the internet, there has been laws that help in making free speech available on the internet. And ever since the 1990s, these laws have been passed, and this law falls under an act of called Section 230. So now, Section 230 is a law that allows the users of internet websites, like on social media platforms, to speak freely of whatever they have in mind, without being censored or without being removed, having their thoughts or ideas removed from these sites. This law helps whoever is free to make a speech or make a opinion on a particular situation or a particular discourse, and it's very, very helpful in letting others know of what you think or what you have in mind. And it's a very, very important law to uphold the freedom of speech on the internet. Without the freedom of speech, these social media platforms won't exist, because there won't be anybody to give their information. They will only just give information published by the social media platforms. Freedom of speech has been very, very needed to help users of social media sites to state their opinions or thought on a particular discourse. Section 230 is a law that has been passed to allow that to happen without getting people censored for what they state or whatever their kind of opinion is. So the Section 230 law is mostly a law that simply means that users of internet platforms and social media sites are allowed to state their opinions, give their contributions, or state their thoughts on particular issues without being censored, and without the internet service provider or the internet companies of those social media platforms, without being responsible for what they say. So whatever they state online is of their own responsibility, and it does not affect the company or the social media platform which they state those opinions. And another part of this law also is that an internet provider or social media platform can restrict access or limit access to materials or content that is lewd, offensive, inappropriate, violent, or harmful, which means they can limit access or remove such content without being held liable for the contents that they have removed. This simply means that if you post something violent and they remove such content that are being posted, they are not liable or held liable or responsible for whatever the user posted. So this law have been on the for the past 20 years, more than 20 years now, and it's very, 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 very fundamental to how the internet works today. Without free speech, the internet won't be the way it is, because a large portion of the internet relies on what the users post or what the users create and post on the internet. So the companies the internet companies are supposed to be as companies or platforms, and they are not supposed to be publishers, because they are platforms in which other people can state their opinions and post to whatever they want, as long as it's not that harmful or violent. So the internet companies are a platform for information to be passed to others. Now, in recent times, the politicians and other huge powers of government have been in the form of revoking or reforming the part of the Section 230 of the Constitution of allowing free speech. And yes, it's not a very, very good thing that is supposed to happen, because it will breed censorship, and it will restrict whatever people can say, and people can't state their opinion anymore. The internet has always been known as to be a free place, and people might seem to have taken that for granted. A lot of countries offer a communist society where a lot of things that happens are being censored and controlled by the government. But in the US and other countries of the world, there's what we call the freedom of speech and freedom to speak whatever you want to speak of. And it is, and on the internet, the section 230 is very, very important, because without it, the internet won't be the way it is today. Granted, there are a lot of misinformation and high key a lot of disinformation and misinformation that happens on social media. But the social media platforms under this law are not responsible for such misinformation. Those are the responsibility of the users and the people who post such content that misinform others. And it's not a problem of the platforms that should be held responsible for what the users post, because under the law, the platforms are not really responsible for what the users post, but it has been held upon platforms and big tech companies to regulate and especially curb the spread of misinformation as it comes to situations like the elections and other political or very serious situations that happens at a particular period. It's very important that misinformation be curbed, yes, but the right to free speech removed from the internet will make the internet a very, very censored place, and it will not be as it way it is. I believe we should also not take for granted our ability to speak freely and make our opinions made on the internet. So with that said, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.